listening to the Reckless Takes Podcast, covering sports, lifestyle, and nearly everything in between. Buckle up, boys and girls. It's time to get reckless.
Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by freezersports.com. Whether you are a new or experienced sports gambler, if you have not used a consultant site, you are missing out. Freezersports.com utilizes advanced machine learning technology to predict sporting events and find you value lines. Visit the website today, that's freezersports.com, to view their predictions from their NHL, NBA, and MLB models, all for free. Yes, for free. Freezersports.com.
Shut up and sit down.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Reckless Takes Podcast. My name is Kyle. I am your co-host, and I'm here with my boy,
Randy, aka the Giblet King, coming back at y'all with another one. I missed y'all so much. Week 2 was a banger.
Only took us 3 times to get the intro correct, but we are joined by Taylor, and so for the rest of football season, I imagine at least, Taylor is going to be our every week guest, every week co-host, I should say, and so that'll be exciting.
I'm back. And I'm back. It only took us an hour and a half to get started this time.
Okay, well, you know,
So we're doing better.
It was very important for me to finish out my little brother's game as
now you
coach.
see why you like Kyle.
I'm easily the best third base coach in the entire Bernie Little League.
Sure.
I promise.
All
right. Let's jump right into it. So, man, I don't even know where to start. We have a bunch of things for today. How was y'all's Sunday watching experience? I always like to hear about, like, were you able to sit down for 10 hours and watch football, or what was it like, Randy?
It was great. Marissa went to her grandma's house. I was at home.
Oh, that's the best.
She brought me a Philly cheesesteak that her uncle made. It was 100 out of 10. It was so good. It was great. You know, the Saints got blown out. You know, I cried. It is what it is. But other than that, it was a good day.
Randy, do you watch Red Zone, or you just watch like the 3 local games?
No, I'm all about the 3 locals. You know, it is what it is.
Taylor, how was yours?
I'm not
I
broke, by the
was
way.
so excited after that week 1 of not being able to watch Red Zone, just with my eyes focused on the screen. I got my big chair, I got my 70-inch TV, so I push it up against, and I'm like 4.5 feet away from the TV, and I'm just glued to the TV. My girlfriend's pissed the whole time. Afternoon games come around. I make dinner. I go swimming. We go swimming. We watch the second half of the late game. Perfect.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. Because obviously I was with you. So week 1, I just wanted to be watching the games, and we couldn't. And so I literally laid on this couch from 11:30. I woke up at 11:30, and I laid down here, and I got up at 10:45, and I got up maybe twice to get refill the mini fridge with beer.
Oh, refilled a mini fridge? Oh, you said you were drunk.
Yeah, I got drunk.
Yeah.
I literally got drunk. I think I drank 9 or 10 beers. It was something ridiculous, but
Oh, so that's why you were texting me some random shit on Sunday night.
Yeah, I was like, and Randy goes, "Were you drunk?" And I was like, "No." Yeah, I got a little buzzed. I got a nice little buzz. That was a great day though, and I got the 12 o'clock games, and I love when the Cowboys don't play at 12. So I got to watch all those games, and the Cowboys played at 3, and I got to focus on that game. And then, you go into that Sunday night game, and that Sunday night game was fucking awesome. That was, let's open up and talk about that. Did everyone here pick the Chiefs to win?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we did. That was, man, it feels like everyone was counting out the Ravens. Every podcast I listened to, all the ESPN countdown hosts, everyone was against the Ravens. And, dude, they just couldn't fucking stop Lamar. There was just absolutely nothing they could do about it. And it was super impressive. I texted this in the group last night. I feel the Mahomes fatigue. Do you guys feel me on that, or you disagree?
I disagree.
Really?
Yeah. Personally, I don't feel it, and I haven't noticed it or anything like that.
I feel like, I don't know. Watching the game yesterday, it didn't feel like watching the same Mahomes on primetime. I didn't see the spectacular plays. And I don't know if that's just the Ravens defense just hunkering down, or if it's just if he's kind of evolving a little bit and he's trying to move into the next phase of his career already. or if it's just me being used to how good he is. Randy, how do you watch Mahomes?
Well, it sounds like you're a spoiled bitch for Mahomes, but I mean, he looked good. The only thing I'm starting to hate about him is every time he's going to get sacked, he chunks that bitch up.
Yeah, he made a couple of
It was like 5 times.
super reckless throws
I'm like,
and
bro, okay, like you did
falling
in the
to the
Super
ground
Bowl,
and just throwing it up.
like you did in the Super Bowl, cool, but it cost you because you threw a stupid fucking pick. Like an idiot.
That was a really bad pick. There's that one, and then there's one like that looked like Baker's throw against the Chiefs week 1, where he clearly started to throw, not realizing he was going to be falling to the ground, and that wasn't an ill-advised pick, but Mahomes knew he was going to the ground and tried making the spectacular hero play. It didn't work so well. One more thing I want to talk about before we jump into like our segments here, and I know Taylor has one thing too on the penalty side of things. So I started to really understand, because Taylor, yours is about the roughing the passer, right?
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up in one of our categories later.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just talk about it later then entirely. I'll just save mine too, because mine is along the same lines.
Okay.
Let's jump right into our awards. So, Randy, start us off. You're keeping your same awards. I'm excited to hear them.
My Sherman Ultra Soft Week 2 award goes to.
I actually love this one. I gave Randy shit about the other one, but I love this. I love the name of this.
How do you? Oh, okay.
It goes to Zach Wilson.
Really? I wasn't expecting that.
19 for 33, 210 yards, 4 picks. Maybe the Jets QBs are seeing ghosts when they play the fucking Patriots.
I saw that. Who said that again? Who asked him that? A reporter, right?
Yeah, reporter. And he was like, nah.
That's fucking hilarious.
When he was up there, he looked like a chubby fucking kid too. But man, yeah, to be a second overall pick, you look like shit, buddy.
Isn't it possible that the number 2 drafted quarterback out of BYU who played like one ranked opponent his entire career, like might not be that great in the NFL?
Definitely possible.
I said that. I said I hated him when we did the draft.
I'm definitely not skipping out on I was never on the hype train, but I'm definitely not gonna say he's a bad quarterback yet. He's on the fucking Jets. Like when Braxton Berrios is your leading receiver, was it really all your fault?
I mean, when Corey Davis is dropping passes and they're getting picked off,
it was a rough day. I wonder, was Andy Dalton in the running for your ultra soft after every hit coming out of the game?
That was fun.
Nah, he's old.
I feel like Andy Dalton came out 3 times. Baker went out 2 different times. Yesterday was just a fucking crazy day for QBs. Like there was like 6,
Tyrod, Tua,
Carson.
Yeah.
Well, Carson's a bitch.
Yeah,
Carson's
I think every quarterback
bitch.
in the league was the runner-up for the Charmin Ultra Soft.
Nah, the minute that I got the notification that Zach Wilson threw a second pick in the second drive of the game, I knew it was him.
Second pass.
Yeah.
It was the second pass of the game. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and do mine. I am sticking with this one. I made one new award. I'm sticking with my Rain Man award. Once again, I feel like I have to say this at least like a small sentence about every time. Rain Man, just a really famous movie with 2 great famous actors. And so the award is given to the best 2-man duo in the league for the week. I have a runner-up, and it's Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp. They are actually absolutely incredible. The only reason that they're runners-up is I think Stafford didn't play the best game. I think Stafford made a few mistakes. He had a couple of overthrows on pretty easy routes that he usually makes. And so it's no big deal. They're still runners-up. I just think Cooper Kupp wildly outperformed his quarterback. My winner, and I'll probably never get to say this again, is Taylor Heineke and Terry McLaurin. Dude, that was a fucking great game to watch. That was super fun, and I'm really upset that this Thursday we have to watch the Panthers and Texans because that last game was super entertaining. I don't imagine it's going to go like that with Davis Mills under center for Houston. But yeah, I mean that game was a ton of fun to watch. I don't think Taylor Heineke is going to be a mainstay name in the NFL, but he's super fun to watch while it's lasting. And the team, he's one of those guys that the team just enjoys being around. They rally around him. And it was just a fun game. I do want to say, though, just while we're talking about that game, are we all in agreement that the Washington football team defense was overrated, or are we going with just a bad start?
I'm going to go ahead and say bad start. I mean,
so they couldn't get to Herbert in week 1. They didn't have a sack in week 1. And coming into this week, they were the Giants offense had one lineman on the bench. They were so injured. They had 3 players out of position, and I think they had 1 sack, maybe 2 sacks. But the entire game, all anyone could talk about was how well the Giants offensive line was holding up. And I felt like that's how broadcasts are. You give credit where it's due. You don't talk badly about the teams. But man, they didn't look very good. Daniel Jones kind of walked all over them.
Let's talk about the Chargers when they play the Chargers real fast. Their best defensive lineman got locked up for the best rookie lineman, Rashawn Slater, who I said was going to be the best lineman in this class.
All right. Every time we mention his name, you're going to say that, aren't you?
I love Rashawn Slater, just FYI.
He does look great. He looks a lot better than Penei Sewell. Taylor, who is your first award?
Okay, so I'm going to save my best one for last. So I have the Levi's Quality Never Goes Out of Style Award. Is
this sponsored by Brett Favre?
No, but it could be. I have 3 quarterbacks winning 2 of these awards. I have Tom Brady, who continues to look good at 44 years, 22 years in the league. Quality really never goes out of style with Tom Brady. And on the other hand, 2 quarterbacks who are going to share this award, Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, in their broadcast last week and this week as we record. That was phenomenal. And I know you shit all over it last week, Kyle.
I didn't shit all over it. I just didn't want to watch it. It seemed that the concept seems, and to be fair, I didn't even switch over once. I haven't watched it today either, so I've never seen a minute of it. It seemed super gimmicky, but after hearing for a week about how amazing it was on several podcasts, I was like, okay, I need to check this out. So I have it recorded right now.
It was really good. And I mean, even today, they spent like a good 5 minutes just roasting Tom Brady and the Patriots.
For some reason. That's so awkward. Like the whole Peyton Manning and Tom Brady thing. Yeah.
And they had Gronk on. They just had Brett Favre on for this game.
That's awesome.
So it's really, it's funny you mentioned Brett Favre.
Yeah.
So I think that they were great. And I can't wait to, I'm probably never going to get to watch all 3.5 hours of them because they're going to be doing this podcast basically during Monday Night Football. But it's really cool.
Cool. Nice. I'll go ahead and do my second one now. So I have the Call of Duty Campaign Mode Award. And this is basically someone who just sets it to easy, says, I'm going to do it all myself. You guys know when you play in the campaign, you don't have to listen to the sound cues or anyone saying like fall back. You just run straight forward. You're just killing everyone, doing it all yourself. And that was clearly Lamar Jackson last night during Sunday Night Football. The Chiefs run defense, who looked pretty bad in week 1, just absolutely crumbled. And it is so obviously clear that Chris Jones should not be playing defensive end. He got demolished out there. Great defensive tackle, but man, when it came to those option plays, Lamar Jackson was just eating him the fuck up. And it literally got something has to be really obvious for the broadcast team to talk about it for like 5 minutes. And they did that on several occasions with Chris Jones. But
talks about it in fucking every defensive drive. Holy shit.
Lamar looked great. The run couldn't be stopped and they never went away from it. And I'm really glad they didn't because when he drops back to pass the ball, it's always sketchy. But when you don't have to, you don't have to. So Call of Duty Campaign Award mode award, Lamar Jackson.
Can I be honest about that game?
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned earlier that I did not watch the first half. That is true. Got back to my room, got back to the TV. Now slipping between that and the Emmys. So as much as I love football,
I wonder why you texted me that Ewan McGregor won an Emmy like during Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, so I said Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, that's right. Yeah. I was a little confusing because I thought I was so confused. I thought you were saying the series Obi-Wan won an Emmy, and I was like, they already saw it? What the fuck?
Unrelated, he did. He already saw it and awarded it. He talked about it last night, so he made some comments on it.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Anyway, that was unrelated.
Who needs to go next? Randy?
Yes, sir.
All right, here.
So my next award, it's called Weird Flex, but okay, week 2. Kyle thinks it's just somebody that does some shit weird.
Well,
this award
is in the title, so
this award's for somebody that just shined more than any other person in their position. So there's two people with this one, or one's like a group.
It should
So
be
the
called the Weekly Shine, presented by Shinerbach.
This podcast might as well be called fucking Kyle Mangelsdorf podcast.
The Kyle Mangelsdorf show.
So the first group is going to be the Ravens offensive line. They played great, man. They played real good. It didn't matter who was at running back. They played amazing. Lamar, when he was dropping back the pass, he wasn't really getting pressured, and that showed a lot to me.
They were saying that I think it was left guard who played wide receiver in college.
Yeah, they were talking about
that's fucking insane.
Alejandro Villanueva.
He played tight end, wide receiver, and now offensive line. You have to
and he was
bulk
in the
up
Army.
so hard. Yeah, and in the military. And I love his quote. I'm sure he stole the quote. I forget if they mentioned that he did or if he was quoting someone else. That playing on the offensive line, the absolute best thing that can happen is nothing happens. That's a great line.
Matter of playing. And then I give it the next person is Derek Carr, 28 for 37, 382 yards, 2 touchdowns, off to a hot start. And I feel like this is always the fucking Raiders are off to a hot start. But I think this year's a little different, man. Derek Carr's looking good. That offense is looking good. And we'll get into that a little later when we talk about some overreactions.
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely in my overreactions, 100,000%.
But yeah, that's my weird flex, but okay players of the week.
What would you guys do if I was like, I'm not recording?
I'd probably go to the room and sleep.
Call you a liar. So
right.
See you tomorrow.
Taylor, what is your next one?
All right, my last one is so you guys remember a couple years ago in the Super Bowl, 2 or 3 years ago, there was an ad campaign by Tide where it always started off as a different commercial, and then it was a David Harbour saying it's a Tide ad.
Yeah. You like above anyone else I know absolutely loves those.
I still will watch those like once every 3 months on YouTube. This is the It's a Tide Ad award for the individual who started off looking like something that they weren't, and then at the end you realize, oh wait, no, it's a Tide ad.
Dude, I gotta step my award game up. Taylor's fucking killing us.
This is Carson Wentz, who looked good. He looked decent throughout the game. He was driving, and then homeboy fumbled, got injured, walked off the field, and they lost. And if that doesn't scream Carson Wentz, and you're watching a different commercial, so
that's
that was
fucking fantastic.
That is my It's a Tide Ad award.
That is amazing. He not only did he get injured, he fumbled and threw some picks, lost the game. Perfect.
Your awards suck, Kyle. You need better names, bud.
I know. Well, at least mine, relate to my award,
I mean, weird flex, but okay, people know what the fuck I'm talking about. I bet Taylor didn't he listened to it and he was like, this award makes no fucking sense.
Anyway.
I haven't seen Rain Man. So I don't know.
That which still blows my mind. That movie's fucking amazing. Like I said, completely unacceptable in today's climate, but it was still amazing.
How about this? Next week, y'all can do a little pop culture podcast. Let's go ahead and get out the way. I won't be here next week for a podcast, sir.
Wow.
I mean, 2 weeks.
Married. Where are you going for your honeymoon again?
Lock and Terror Resort. Because COVID sucks.
Going out of town.
Hey, so you're going. We're going all the way over to.
I'm going all the way 15 minutes away from the crib.
Lock and Terror Resort. How long are you gonna be there?
Like
you're gonna drive there every morning?
No, we're staying there. It's a fucking resort, motherfucker.
Yeah. He's actually just staying at a friend's apartment in the Lock and Terror mall.
I mean, we were gonna go to Vegas, but
COVID.
Oh
man. Yeah, when I asked you where you were staying, you should have been Gray Forest, and I had to think about it for a second. I'm like, oh, you mean
Randy, could you talk about more why you're not going to Vegas? Because my mom's in Vegas right now, and my boss is going to Vegas next weekend. So are they gonna die?
No, but I'm not gonna risk getting COVID.
Okay.
Because Randy also refused to get vaccinated. We'll just get all the political takes out here on the podcast right now.
I don't refuse to do it. I'm not anti-vax. I just don't want to get it. I fucking hate needles. I never got the fucking flu shot. I never gotten the flu. I don't get sick.
That should be Randy's punishment if he loses the picks.
Yes, he has to get
Fuck
vaccinated.
dinner. Yeah.
Oh man.
We're
All
not
right.
gonna talk about COVID. I'm not anti-mask. I'm not anti-vax. I wear a mask everywhere I go now. So it's all right.
Randy wearing a mask is fucking hilarious because there's like so much
Because of the
beard, and the
beard, right?
mask
Yeah.
is like right here. It looks fucking great. Really quick. So before we move on into overreactions, everyone got their words out, right? That was it.
Yeah, Kyle should be taking me to the Cowboys game, but it is what it is.
Yeah, we'll see. Um,
That could have been my bachelor party.
what do you guys? I want to ask you guys which win from this week. This is kind of on the spot. I didn't really send you this, guys, because it's not a big deal. Which win is most meaningless this week? I'll give you mine before, so to give you all a chance to think about it. It was a toss up between the Bears, who what you can't really take anything away from that game other than Joe Burrow might suck. He threw 3 picks. Randy, don't you dare make that face. He threw 3 picks and 3 pass attempts. Joe Burrow looked pretty terrible.
Watch your fucking mouth.
There's no question he could throw a deep ball, but he makes some really that one interception to the linebacker was one of the worst passes I've ever seen in a regular season game.
Okay, yeah, whatever.
And
Whatever, bro.
there's nothing you can take away from that game because Joe Burrow looked terrible. And so congratulations, you got them easy picks. And Andy Dalton looked awful. He went 9 for 11, but didn't throw the ball more than 5 yards down the field. And then Justin Fields comes in, and it's hooray. This is what I've been wanting the whole time. And he didn't look very good either. He got thrown off the field a few times. So I really don't know what you take away from there. And I'll say the Cardinals, only because, I think this team is good enough to contend in their division. So you'll take the win. But it was pretty clear that they should have lost that game when a kicker misses, what is it, a 35-yarder, I think. You never want to be too proud of that. And
that's not their fault.
The Vikings really, here's the second part, Randy. The Vikings really marched down the field on them whenever they wanted to. Kirk Cousins looked really good, actually. And so, their defense, after looking pretty stout week 1, struggled. And that's going to be the concern because Kyler and D-Hop are going to do their thing and you're going to score points. But, he's also going to throw some picks. So the defense has to be ready for that. Do you guys have any teams other than that you say might be a worthless win?
Nah, you hit it on the money. I do want to get off topic real fast. Aaron Jones has 4 touchdowns. He's killing it for me. He has 41 points, and that's all that matters.
It's good to know that I would have lost in fantasy no matter what happened then because I'm playing him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got fucking tarnished in fantasy this week. It's 160 to 110 right now, and it's still going. Really upsetting that this game is going to be a blowout. I was hoping for a nice finish.
Well, it's the Lions, so
yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe they'll make a late comeback.
Oh, yes, sir.
Taylor, do you have anything, any meaningless wins or not really?
I'm thinking about it. The only one I can think of is the Broncos winning.
I was going to say that.
I think the Broncos do suck. I just think that they've played some pretty bad teams, and they're in a division that includes the Chiefs, and apparently the Raiders are going to be good.
Yeah, the 2022 or 2021 Super Bowl champions, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Hey, right now, if the playoffs started, the Broncos would be in the playoffs, and the Chiefs wouldn't.
Teddy's look good.
Look great. Not good.
I'm not sure what you do in the long game with Tim Patrick as your number one.
That's why they don't do playoffs.
They don't, as well, but
so that's why they don't seed the playoffs after week 2. When half the teams are 2-0.
That's what podcasts are for, man. All right, that's what we fucking do.
Asshole.
Okay, so I did a terrible job of show prepping, and I don't have all of our overreactions from week 1.
I got mine. I figured it out.
You got all yours? Okay, cool. I have one of mine that I remember for sure, and it was my take was that Jonathan Taylor is severely overrated. And afterwards, I was like, man, I don't know how this sounds after 1 week when in week 17 he had 253 yards of last year. But I'd say I'm at least a little affirmed. He went 15 for 51, only 1 reception. I went back and watched this game just to make sure I was right about this. He was super uninvolved in the pass game. That continues to be mostly Hines' thing. 5 yards a carry, more or less, in the run game. And when you have Carson Wentz, I'd say the one thing that Carson does really well is play action. And if you can't make them bite on the run, Carson's going to struggle even more. So he really needs Jonathan Taylor to just be more of a threat in the run game. So they have to bite on that. Randy, what are yours?
So mine from last week were the Jacksonville Jaguars and Urban Meyer are already done, which is very true. They are fucking
They're
done.
probably done. Yeah.
And then the second one was the Rams are Super Bowl favorites, which I still believe that they are.
Can I just mention that how stressed out Urban Meyer looks every time they flashed him on the sideline?
Yeah, I mean,
Urban Meyer is losing months of his life every game. They look over and it was raining that game, and the whole time he's just on his knees, just looking straight down at the turf. And I'm like,
was it because
he
he was supposed to draft the next Peyton Manning and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, but to be fair, Peyton Manning
To
be fair, Peyton Manning went 3-13 in his first season.
Yeah, but Trevor looks like shit. And then the last one was Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts are the future of the Eagles, and they look like shit. They look like shit. They look like shit, which helped me in fantasy because the guy started Devontae, and Devontae only had 1 point. That's cool.
Yeah, they struggled, and next week will be very interesting because the Cowboys, although they played pretty well yesterday, their secondary is one of the lower end secondaries. So we'll see if Jalen gets back on track or just continues this weird run of no one being able to figure him out.
Speaking about the Cowboys and Eagles, I really hope we end up going to the game. This could be like a bachelor party. Taylor, you should invest in coming with us, but it is what it is.
I already tried to find Taylor.
Pussy.
He says a no-go.
We need 3 people. Two's a gay trip.
Yeah. That's fucked up. I disagree completely.
Had many gay trips together.
Yeah.
I mean, I would really like to go.
Well,
it would be dope.
Well, now if I can't get another person, we're not going because I'm going to think the whole time that you're going to expect Roadhead or something.
We can bring Samuel.
Yes. Okay. If you're paying his way, I know Samuel's not paying for it.
I ain't paying nobody.
All right. So let's go ahead and jump into week 2 overreactions. Randy, you want to give us your first one? How many do you have? Like
I have
3?
I have 3.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. How many y'all have?
I did 4.
Okay, I can add
just have 2.
They're pretty quickly.
I'll add a 4th one.
Okay, go for it.
So the first, want me to give all or just one?
Just give one.
My first one is Raiders best in the West.
Okay, that's also my number 1. I mean, this one obviously wrote itself, right? Like none of us had to say this. This literally wrote itself.
I mean,
Derek Carr looks fucking awesome. Yeah.
Offense looks real good. Darren Waller looks good. The defense looks real good. Carl Nassib is touching booty hole. It just looks real good.
Come on. There's no way you just fucking said that.
I mean, I could have been the announcer that said he was running booty hole naked going after the quarterback.
Did you see that, Taylor?
No, I didn't.
Dude, this announcer, it wasn't even a fucking edit. This announcer made a comment that because Carl Nassib wasn't blocked, and he said, "You got Nassib running at the quarterback booty hole naked." Couldn't fucking believe the lack of awareness. Oh man, that was hilarious. Yeah, Henry Ruggs is running like 50-yard routes across the field.
Finally, Henry Ruggs is getting some type of looks.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it stays because I mean, I like Henry Ruggs. He's fast, and I mean, he could be the next Tyreek Hill. He's pretty fucking fast. But yeah.
Yeah, they look great. They don't play the Chiefs until like what is it? Week 10 or something?
Yeah, we're going to that.
And so they get to go for a while. They have, the Dolphins, the Bears, the Broncos, the Eagles, the Giants all coming up.
They have easy schedule, man.
Before the Chiefs, which is week 10. So, man, I would be pretty shocked if they didn't at least have like 5 or 6 wins.
Shit, 8-9 wins, son.
Going into the Chiefs game. Yeah, they've been a ton of fun. So that covers my first one too. Mine is the Raiders are legitimate playoff contenders. And when you start off 2-0, even if you don't think that they're going to make any noise in the playoffs, you're, percentage wise, you're off to a really good start to get into the playoffs.
Yes,
Taylor, what's yours?
Well, first off, I can't even think of who's in the division with the Raiders. It's what?
The Chargers, the Chiefs,
and the Broncos.
The Broncos. Yeah. So they're better than the Broncos. I firmly believe that. They're not better than the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And I think them and the Chargers might be a legitimate toss-up, which no one would have thought coming into the year.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So my first one is the Bucs are going to go 17-0, and they're going to go 20-0.
I thought
Tom-
about this today.
Tom Brady is he's going to redeem himself from the 18-1 season from 2007
Yeah.
or 2006, or no, it was 2007, and then he's also going to break the season touchdown record.
Damn, dude. That's literally my second one.
Wow.
Well, mine is Tom Brady is mine is I agree with the Bucs saying I think 17-0 is like, man, just watching the way that offense can dismantle a
Who do
defense.
they play next week?
There's no reason to think it's not like
They
out
play
of the
the
realm of
Rams.
possibility.
The Rams,
Man, that's gonna be
it's the only like speed bump in the next like 10 games for them.
Saints.
Is that the Sunday night game?
No,
No,
they're like game of the week, I think.
yeah, they're Fox.
So what is that, like 325 or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so mine was, I don't know if I just said this, that Tom Brady's about to have the best statistical season of his career, and he's certainly off to the start for it. And man, I said this last year, and I just, he only got a month with his team before the season started with all that COVID. And everyone said this. This is a regurgitated take, but he barely got any time with that team, and he still looked pretty damn great. He was off to a slow start, and I think I don't think this is going to be the opposite, where he gets off to this great start and all of a sudden dips. There's no way. He looks like he's in the best shape of his career, and he's off to this crazy start. I have a really hard time seeing him at least below like 40, 45 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's crazy because my next one, my second is Tom Brady MVP lock. Playing better. He looks better at age 44 than he did in his 20s. He has 655 total yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I don't agree with the 20-0. I think they will be beat. At least one or two games. They are my Super Bowl favorite with the Rams. It's them too. It's going to be a fun game next week.
That's an awesome game. I totally forgot that was happening.
If they go 20-0, there's no way, no fucking way people cannot say Tom Brady is not the GOAT of just football, but GOAT of athlete of all time.
In my eyes, that's already a sealed case for now.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think it's still Tiger Woods.
So we actually had this conversation when I did a podcast. You were there for it, right? And we on the podcast I did a long time ago, and it was mine were Tom Brady, Michael Phelps, and Tiger Woods. And it's closed for me, but I agree. I think that I'm kind of hung up on Tiger Woods struggling so much with injuries and age later in his career, while I'm watching Brady, continue to rise.
But to be fair,
Brady looks great.
And Michael Phelps could stay off the weed.
Tiger Woods made way more money and had way more sex than Tom Brady did.
Way more
sex,
way more knee injuries. He's just fucking living life and repairing knees.
Who really knows where those injuries came from? They could have been very much sex related.
Like, no, it's a car accident. It's a car accident, I swear.
It's probably one of the symptoms of gonorrhea.
What was it? Carlos Correa had his rib broken from a masseuse last year. That's like, okay, so you mean that you were fucking your masseuse and then you walked out with a broken rib.
Correa's married now.
Yeah. All right, I'll do my next one. Mac Jones is going to mediocrely stumble into Offensive Rookie of the Year. There's not a whole lot to say about this other than Trevor Lawrence doesn't look good. Zach Wilson looks god-awful. Justin Fields didn't convince me and can't get Andy Dalton to not start, apparently, because they said that as long as he's healthy, Andy Dalton is still the starter. I think Garoppolo is doing a fine job of placeholding. So I don't know when we're going to see Trey Lance. And if Mac Jones stays healthy and plays every game and they win 8 or 9 of them, and, he throws 200 yards and only throws like 6 incomplete passes, I don't really see a way where he doesn't win this award. And the narrative's great, of Belichick bringing in this rookie and having a winning season and continuing the culture of the Patriots. I think that narrative really writes itself. So this is no reaction, but I think this is the one I'm most confident in.
Well,
you made a face, Randy. Who honestly, I want to hear who do you think would win it? Like, as of right now, obviously we're week 2, so early, but who do you see?
I don't think we can say much about like Justin Fields looked like crap against the Bengals. He came in, he wasn't ready. We're really gonna see how good Justin Fields is come next week. He's starting next week.
If Andy Dalton was the quarterback and he wasn't ready, I don't know what else to tell him. Like if Andy Dalton is in above you, you should be ready at all times. He's fucking 35 years old and he's not good.
I think at the end of the season, we're going to be saying it's going to be Justin Fields. I think he kills it next week. I will definitely be starting him in fantasy.
He has the talent for it. But I mean, Andy Dalton's day to day, so we don't know if he's going to be starting week 3.
I mean, I see where Matt Nagy's like, when Andy Dalton's healthy, he's my guy. Like, sorry, buddy, but there's no fucking way. There's no way.
Who's next? Does anyone else have any more?
I think Devontae.
I just wanted to add.
Yeah.
It depends on how you feel about Jamar Chase, because
2 touchdowns already.
I think that it could be that the quarterbacks just don't do that well, and he gets 20 touchdowns and
I can see Jamar Chase. I can see Devontae Smith. Kyle Pitts is finally getting the ball rolling. Too bad his quarterback's fucking Matt Ryan, who sucked a donkey cock. And I can also see Najee Harris. I know Najee Harris has started off slow, but he's definitely get the workload. So it's gonna be I would be shocked to see. Mac Jones. I think
Mac Jones is. You'd be shocked. He's the only one that's on a winning team. That's a part of the narrative. And I agree that like Jamar Chase is more talented than Mac Jones. Kyle Pitts is more talented than Mac Jones. But those teams could have a combined record of 6 and whatever when it's all said and done. And I was pretty high on the Falcons, but they look pretty fucking terrible to start off the season.
Yeah, they look fucking.
I think they're gonna win 4 games or something. And
see, but this is Mac Jones' stats yesterday: 22 for 30, which is good. That's actually great.
That's fine.
But 186 yards, no touchdowns.
Yeah, I think it's not him playing spectacular. It's him not getting to the point where anyone's saying bench Mac Jones and they win games. And I think that's what it come down to. And he almost won. He's almost 2-0. They're 1 point and a fucking fumble in the red zone for being 2-0. But yeah, by no means do I think he's the most talented rookie. I'm just thinking narrative. Really.
Yeah, I guess as of right now, he's in the lead. As of right now. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay, who's next?
Taylor.
Want to take it?
Unless you want me to go again, Taylor, because you only have 2, and then we'll come back to you. It's up to you.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. I'll say I have 2 more. My first, I'll say both right now, just to get it out the way. My first one is Trevor Lawrence. Obviously, is not the number 1 rookie. He looks like shit. I don't give a fuck what you say. I know it's the Jaguars, but they got a good. On paper, they have a good offense. DJ Shark.
What the hell's happening? I haven't watched much of these games. Where's Shark at?
He only had one. We'll get
one catch.
We'll get to the fantasy later. He's on my fantasy, but
Oh, he's on your team.
Yeah, and I started him.
Oh my god, yeah. I almost traded for him, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like that offense is kind of cluttered, and I don't like it. I stayed away. I'm glad I did because Shark is off to a pretty disastrous start.
Trevor Lawrence just throwing picks. He doesn't look good right now, and I don't know, man. Hopefully he can pick it up, but
I'm definitely not. I agree. Like he just looks really bad right now. I'm not going to say like he's a bust or anything. No one can.
Yeah.
Like even as an overreaction, that's ridiculous. But I'm with you. He looks pretty fucking terrible.
Yeah, these are overreaction, people. And then my last one is Sam Darnold was the real deal. Yesterday, 26 for 38, 305 yards, 2 touchdowns. I know it's against the banged up Saints defense, but on the year he has 584 total yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He carried the Panthers. He's on a good team, good coaching staff. He looks fucking great. Panthers are the real deal. It's looking like the Panthers may be the only team to scare the Bucs a little bit in the division. Saints look like shit. I'm a Saints fan. Jameis looked like Buccaneer Jameis.
Sure did.
Kamara was nowhere to be found yesterday. But yeah.
My favorite part about watching this is it's like this with several teams. My favorite part of watching the Panthers games is the flashovers to Matt Rule. And I told Taylor this. He just looks like he screams functioning alcoholic. And he always looks like he just rolled out of bed and his hair's all over the place. And he always looks like someone just shot his dog. Like every call is like the worst thing he's ever seen in his life. I'm like, but I mean, he's doing a great job. Seems like a good coach. He had a lot of really good praise about him coming into his career last year.
They got a lot of talent, man.
Just hilarious. McCaffrey looked pretty good. I only caught a few plays. But yeah, McCaffrey in the slot is dangerous. You give him a running start. If you're the corner and your hands aren't on him right off the break, he's fucking gone.
They might as well go ahead and put him in the slot. Let Chuba be the running back.
Yeah.
I think they would be dangerous like that.
By the way,
shit.
is Chuba Hubbard the worst name in the NFL?
Not like him so much. I want to suck his cock. I mean,
is it okay? Well, anyway, Taylor, what's your last one?
My last one is, well, I wrote one and I changed my mind halfway through the pod. So I'm changing it to, is Sam Darnold, or Sam Darnold is good. It was good all along.
Okay. Yeah.
It was right on line with Randy's. My original one was, maybe the Lions are good.
yeah.
What's the score now? Like 45-20?
I just changed it to, the Lions are definitely a football team.
Yeah, the Sam Darnold one's great. Everyone was, I'm like, me and Randy are pretty steeped into the sports card game, and people were trading Sam Darnold cards like they're fucking gold. Just hoping that was the case and that no one was going to succeed under Adam Gase and that he was great all along. And he looks pretty good. He sure as fuck, ate the Saints up yesterday. So
he did.
We'll see.
And we're banged up.
A really, really good defense, and we'll see. I'm excited for him to go against the Bucks. Yeah, that should be a fun one. They're in the same division, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Come on, bro.
My last one, and I don't have a lot to say about this, is can you guys guess what this is going to be?
Probably the Cowboys are to the Super Bowl.
It's a little more conservative. It's the Cowboys are the easy favorites of the NFC East, and there's two teams that are 1-1 right now, and so obviously
we're all 1-1.
Yeah.
Except for the Giants. I'm sorry.
The Giants are 0-2.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot the Eagles are 1-1 as well, and the Washington football team. No, but they had the most talent. They had this crazy 1-2 punch at running back. Amari disappears randomly, but he's always going to be there on a third down, running a great curl route, and that Taylor roasted about the ball placement. And CD is everything we'd hoped he'd be. Michael Gallup's going to come back. The offensive line's banged up, and they still looked good. The defense, finally, that was one of the first good defensive Cowboy games I've watched in maybe a year and a half. And I was really, really impressed. I don't know if you guys saw my Instagram story. 2 days before the game, I saved a TikTok of this guy, like some fantasy guru, quote unquote, or betting guru, saying that there was no way the Cowboys would get off the field on defense and they would lose by like 30. And I was just hoping to God I could post that. But it was a great game to watch as the Cowboys fan, and to have my faith restored in Greg Zuerlein was nice. One thing I want to say about the Cowboys, I want to get y'all's take on. I don't know if it's really a question. It's just something I'm concerned about. So Pollard looks excellent, right? Pollard has been looking better than Zeke for about a year now. He obviously Zeke is the guy, right? You're paying him $15 million or whatever it is. That's just how it works. But Pollard hits the holes a lot harder. He is way faster at this point. Taylor, are you laughing at my hit the holes harder thing?
No, actually, I'm watching Pat McAfee on. Sorry.
Because you're watching another podcast while he's on the podcast.
No, Pat McAfee is the guest with Eli and Peyton.
Fucking Pat McAfee.
No, but here's what I'm concerned about. Tony Pollard has been talking a lot on social media about how, I've always been the underdog. I've always had to try harder than everyone else. And so he clearly has this dog in him, this alpha in him. And he's never going to be a starting running back as long as Zeke isn't healthy. And so I'm really hoping the locker room chemistry just doesn't implode, because it's clear that was a risk with the Cowboys. It always has been, because there's so many personalities on the team and they're the most watched team. And so I'm just hoping that running back room doesn't implode, because Zeke is never going to get over that role. And Pollard is playing better than him. And I'm scared. Okay. I'm really nervous about it. I hope that Pollard is okay being the guy that comes in after Zeke and looks better. Because he's feeling better. Everyone sees it.
Yeah.
And
he better never.
No, go ahead.
You better never sell that Tony Pollard auto. I got you.
Okay. Right. Randy always finds a way to bring it around to the cards. That was a great gift, by the way. But yeah, other than that, just a really fun game to watch. I loved it. I'm finally
Yeah, I think
happy Cowboys fan.
the Pollard thing really reiterates something that I firmly believe, and
Don't pay
that
running
is
backs.
don't pay running backs. There's no reason. Every year it has everything to do with the offensive line and nothing to do with the running back.
Yeah.
Almost nothing to do with the running back. I
Yeah, there's some
mean,
exceptions, obviously, but I agree with you. And it's hard to see a guy like Zeke come out and lead the team to 13-3 and
Mhm.
have this one of the best Cowboys rushing years of all time. It's hard to be, to be like, let him walk. But I mean, you're right. There's too many examples. There's Todd Gurley was the one that Zeke was like, I want that money. And you saw what
Yeah.
happened to Todd Gurley, and it's like, fuck.
Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell literally held out and
Yeah.
like demanded release from his team.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he's basically out of the league. He's on a practice squad still. He's the Ravens running back room has like 2 guys in it, and he can't get in. So yeah, I completely agree.
Cam Newton could go be running back for the Ravens.
Yeah, there are not 32 better running backs than me in the NFL.
As
All right.
I will say this, as an NFL fan, the Cowboys won because of the refs. I'm going to say that completely.
Oh no, you fucking did not
Dog,
just say this.
There
There's
were
no way.
so many flags
On
Dog,
both
no, no,
sides.
I'm
On
not,
both
I'm not
sides.
talking about the flags. All right, I'm talking about one particular, not even a flag. It wasn't even a flag. I'm talking about when fucking Justin Herbert was scrambling around. They didn't even blow him down. He throws it incomplete.
Oh yeah.
And they called him down like 20 yards back. That screwed them.
That was a pretty
They
bad
would have
call.
scored. They would have fucking scored. They would have scored that drive if that never happened.
That was really weird. I will say that.
That was bullshit. And then that was just so bullshit. The refs were so bad yesterday. And just in that game in particular, the refs suck. Whoever they are, they need to be fucking fired.
There
It's
was
probably
also
the
a play
same-
that we punted because of they missed a defensive pass interference. That's all I'm gonna say.
But those are easily missed. Those are always missed. The Buccaneers had offensive pass interference against y'all. That was missed. But something like that where fucking Herbert is and the head, like one of the head guys, you know how like they go to like the referee expert all the time and they're like, what do you think about this? He was so pissed that they did this. Like, how one, you didn't even blow Justin down. And he's obviously trying to make a play when Mahomes does this. That was literally the first time I've ever seen that happen ever.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was bullshit. I mean, the Cowboys probably still would have won the game, but that play I thought was like the changing point, the game changer. Like,
yeah, it was pretty strange, and he wasn't in any danger of getting hurt.
he wasn't, and he obviously threw it. It was incomplete. They would have been like on the 5-yard line still. They could have ran it in with Eckler,
Yeah,
or do something up to fucking Jared Cook. But the fact that they called him down. When that happened, I was like, oh, well, that's it. There's no way they're going to score from the fucking 40. No first downs. They're third and fucking long.
Did they end up kicking a field goal on that drive? Is that what tied it up at 14?
Yeah, they kicked the field goal. But I honestly, the way they were driving down on that drive, I was like, they're going to score a touchdown here. But after that, I was like, there's no fucking way they score.
Yeah,
that
was a super weird play. I'll admit that.
I was so
I'm taking the
mad.
win. I'm taking the win, and I'm sprinting.
Yeah, I'm not going to take nothing away from the Cowboys. They look really fucking good. But so did
It was
the
a little
Chargers.
concerning that we scored 2 touchdowns in the first quarter and had a field goal for the next. We had 2 field goals in the next 3, and I would just love them to have kept the foot on the gas. I think Mike McCarthy's been fine, but good Lord, have some balls.
I think the Chargers defense is a little better than what people are giving them credit for. People got to understand the last 2 years they didn't have Derwin James. He's back. He looks good. Casey Hayward, I think, is still on the team. He looks good. They look good overall on defense, and y'all's offensive line did look good.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with the way they held Nick Bosa in check.
But I mean, both defense played really well.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe, Justin Herbert looked fucking good, man. He looked good. He was making throws he needed to make.
Incredible fucking throws, man, on a rope.
And his offensive line screwed him with the holding calls. There was one holding call where they threw it down he threw it like this play was to Mike Williams, who's having an incredible season, by the way. It was crazy. Mahomes scrambled, looked last minute, boom. And then they called holding, and then they showed the replay on the holding, and I was like, I don't know. They called it on Jared Cook too, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like
come on. I was really glad that they lost, mainly because Mike Williams, I don't know if you saw, talked like mad shit about the Cowboys defense for the game. And he didn't really get held in check. He played pretty well. But he said that the Bucks looked like they were having a ton of fun out there about the Cowboys defense. And I was like, okay, well, fucking relax. And so if he had gone off for like 10 catches and the Cowboys lost, it's been pretty humiliating. But
I mean, he did. I mean, I'm not. All right, this is one thing I'm gonna take away from the
good.
Cowboys. Y'all's DBs look like shit. Y'all look kind of bad.
Occasionally, there were some moments, and the
Yeah.
broadcast pointed out Curse looked pretty good.
Yeah, Curse did look good, but Trayvon Diggs, he did make that crazy pick. But other than that, man,
he gets smoked pretty often.
And I know it's against Keenan Allen, but still, if you want to be the top dog, especially on a Cowboys team, you gotta fucking be able to block guys like Keenan Allen. You're in a division that has Kenny Galladay, Devontae Smith, Terry McLaurin. Like, if you can't, like, you got to be that dog. I mean, the Cowboys look good. Dak looks really fucking good.
How about Micah Parsons?
Oh, fuck. I'm so
he
happy
looked
about that.
Fucking great.
I told you, I mean, I love Micah. He's so fast. He gets off the ball like a motherfucker. Obviously, when he was going against Rashawn Slater, he didn't do shit. Rashawn Slater hasn't let up a sack yet. But
I was really concerned about, because he got moved to defensive end to replace DeMarcus Lawrence. And we had just texted about DeMarcus Lawrence earlier. And I said, there's no one on our roster who can fill that mix of size and skill. And obviously Micah doesn't fill that size comparison. But man, I forget which offensive line was playing right, which lineman was playing right tackle. But Micah just took him to school, man.
But yeah, he was killing the right tackle. He was fucking Micah's strong. He's fast. I think he ran like a 4.4.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. He played some linebacker. He played some defensive end. Van Der Esch looked good. Jalen Smith looked good.
This defense has names. This defense has names. If we had one more corner, Taylor left for like 10 minutes and we're still talking about the Cowboys.
I mean, I mean,
Micah Parsons, Leighton Vander Esch, Jalen Smith, DeMarcus Lawrence, like those are fucking big names.
Well, not DeMarcus Lawrence. He's out for the year. But
for the year?
Yeah, I think he's out for the year.
I feel like it's weeks. I feel like it's like 8 weeks. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh well,
it's like 20 weeks.
Yeah, it's a big.
Well, that hurts me, but I'm a little more at ease because So this actually, the last thing I'll say about Micah Parsons is, let's be real. It's not the last thing I'm going to say about Micah Parsons. But moving into defensive end allows for both Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith to play linebacker because they have been doing subbing units where Van Der Esch will be off the field for Micah and back and forth. And so this way we get all three of those names on the field and we can really see what we have.
I mean, right now, as it looks like, I mean, y'all got the steal of the draft. Micah would have went top 5 or top 10 if he wouldn't have been such an idiot off the field. But
he was fun. And he's a great personality. Yeah, man. I'm absolutely hyped to have him.
You know, the only thing that scares me about the Cowboys is against the good teams like the Buccaneers. Y'all could have easily won the game, but y'all's defense folded. Against good teams. Yeah. Against good teams, he fucking carved y'all all game. Tom Brady carved y'all.
Okay, but the last drive, especially, that was like. Oh, by the way, it's 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
For DeMarcus, which is wonderful to hear.
But it's really gonna. I'm not gonna. The Chargers aren't like a team like I'm like, oh my god, they're that fucking fast. But I can't wait for the Eagles, the Cowboys to play good teams. Like let's say Jalen Hurts, they play Monday. Will they be able to hold Jalen and Devontae Smith? Yeah. Or are they going to be like Devontae's really not all that because he had a bad week? It's going to be
if you get absolutely blown off the field by those two, that's where I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I'm going to be a little less high on them.
I do want to say this. I'm going to add to my overreaction. Dak Prescott could be the first person to win comeback player of the year and MVP.
Oh, I love that. I love it. I'll eat that up all fucking day.
I hate the Cowboys, but Dak has been looking good. I saw a lot of I was listening to the podcast earlier. They were like, Dak looked like shit, and then I looked at his stats. I'm like, Dak is making throws. There's not really any incompletions. I think he only had like 6 or 8 yesterday.
I think the main thing that's gonna hurt him is keeping up with the stats.
Yeah.
Realistically, though, on that, I mean. First of all, you said Brady might win MVP too, but also
it's overreaction. Taylor, relax.
Yeah, damn it.
But the voters would never do that.
Yeah,
you never know, man. I mean,
yeah.
So here's the thing: is that MVP, I would say at least half the narrative is stats. And Brady is off to this fucking crazy stat start. We know Mahomes is going to have 40 touchdowns at least.
Kyler.
And Dak, Kyler looks out of his mind. And, Dak, if you watched the game yesterday, Dak looked great, but he didn't throw a touchdown. He had one pick and no touchdowns. And so, if you watch the game, you're like, Dak looked like he threw 4 touchdowns. But at the end of the year, when you're voting after week 18, they're not going to remember, in the Chargers game, he looked great. He just didn't, the stats don't look great. So comeback play of the year, though, it's really like, who is it? It's him or, if Tyrod Taylor can get back healthy.
Mm-hmm. No, I think Tyrod's done. They said that his injury is like 6 to 8 weeks.
Really?
Which sucks. I just bought like fucking 10 autographs of him.
Fucking hilarious. Well, yeah, I mean, I think it was Bill Simmons or who, I forget who it was, that was like, what were you expecting? This is Tyrod Taylor. Yeah. He looks really good. Too. He looks really good. He makes some great throws. You're like, oh, this guy can run. This guy's talented. And he gets hurt and he's out for weeks. And then by the time he comes back, the system's already in place and it's moved on without him. And it's never gonna be the same. And then next year he'll go play for fucking Chicago and make some good plays or whatever. That's what Tyrod Taylor does.
I think after the season he's gonna be a full-time backup.
Toasty toast.
All right, let's move on because we talk about the Cowboys for like 30 minutes.
I want to talk about the Anthony Brown, the third string Cowboys cornerback. All right, yeah, let's move into fantasy corner, dude. I'll be very upfront. I have nothing for Fantasy Boom because I was absolutely terrible in all 3 of my leagues. I lost in all 3, and it was just a miserable week. I'll give you my one Fantasy Boom was Braxton Berrios, and that's not a joke. He had I think he had 14 fantasy points in PPR because I think he received every one of Zach Wilson's completions.
Yeah.
So there's that. Anyone else take it away, please.
My Fantasy Boom is Terry McLaurin. I had a lot of great players this week, but Terry really won me my league. He had 27.7 points, 11 catches, 107 yards, 1 tutty. Him and Taylor Heineke look like a good combination right now. Hopefully they can keep it.
Would you say the Rain Man winners of the week?
Did you say that?
Shut up. Is that a movie?
Is that a movie?
What'd you say? Oh yeah. One day you guys are gonna watch that movie. You're gonna love it.
Probably not.
I got to play against McLaren in all 3 of my leagues. That was great. Yeah.
And I
thought you were gonna say high school.
Yeah, no, also not that. I'm like, yeah, I went back to get more eligibility.
And Taylor, what was your Fantasy Boom of the week?
Well, the only one I have is Tom Brady. I can't stop talking about him as much as I hate that he's in my division, being a Saints fan. 33 fantasy points, 5 touchdowns. I mean, that guy.
No picks.
That guy was on one. His one fumble was not a fumble, but hey, I'm not going to argue with the refs.
I didn't even see what happened. Was it just a bad call?
And it was the tuck rule. They called it wrong. Yeah. Yeah. That's my only one. I also lost 2 of my 3 fantasy teams, but my 2 quarterback leagues. My 2 quarterback league, I won my game thanks to.
Who's your other quarterback?
Herbert, 20 points.
That's a nice duo.
Yeah.
Randy, who's your fantasy bust?
Fantasy bust is DJ Shark. He had a decent week 1, so I started him again. 1 catch, 28 yards, 2.9 fantasy points. I still won. I went 3 for 3, which I've done. I'm 2-0 in both of my 2 of my leagues and 1-1 in the other league. I'm a fantasy guru, but it is what it is. But yeah, DJ Shark, 1 catch, 28 yards.
Fantasy guru started Tevin Coleman at running back over over workhorse Devin Singletary.
But I started Shepard over Corey Davis, and that helped me.
Taylor, you want to go ahead and give your fantasy bust real quick?
Yeah, so I was doing the notes for this podcast right in the middle of the afternoon games.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get a little bit ahead of it. I was already destined to lose 2 of the 3 games that I was in. And so I put anyone who plays for the Titans. And I'm going to change that because Julio Jones ended up having a decent game, and they ended up throwing it around a little bit more towards the end there.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, yeah. I have also had Derrick Henry for 47 points, but I'm going to say anybody who started for me did not play well. Just everyone I started.
Just everyone
One
that's
of
me
yeah,
too.
Here's
they
another.
they knew, or I don't know what it was. They knew, and so I got just no one scored over 20 in one of my leagues, and it's hard to win that way.
Yeah.
Here's another overreaction for y'all. Derrick Henry, another pass catcher.
Yeah, dude. So I gave him a bunch of shit
Career high.
coming in. Yeah, 6 of 6, 55 yards receiving. That's fucking great, man. If he can run half of what he ran yesterday and keep up those reception numbers, and you're in PPR, Jesus, man, that's insane.
Every time he runs, I just fucking laugh my ass off because he looks like he's running so fucking slow. Him and Kamara, they run the same.
It's just he's so big.
They look like they're running slow as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like fucking 30 yards in front of everybody. Fucking me.
My fantasy busts, Alvin Kamara. I have him in 2 leagues, and he ran for 7 yards and caught 4 passes. Didn't really matter. Only 7 fantasy points, and I needed him to come up big. I wouldn't have won no matter what in 2 of them, but I have him in a 3rd league. I drafted him very heavily, as you can tell, and I would have won if he had performed. Also, this is weird. I really needed that Rager touchdown that he stepped out of bounds for. I don't know if y'all saw that. That one would have won one of my leagues had he had caught that. I lost by 4. He had 2. And so, that would have given him like 8. So if he had just fucking stayed in bounds. But I mean, he looks really good, honestly, to start the year. He looks perfectly fine as a 2nd or 3rd receiver. And, if your problem is you just stepped out of bounds, I'm not going to give you a whole lot of shit for it. Other than that, pretty much my whole team just underperformed. I drafted Diggs really heavily, and for as heavily as they won, he was pretty uninvolved. When your team goes up 35-0, or when your team wins 35-0, you would expect the wide receiver 1 to have a crazy day, but he just didn't. But yeah, I mean, fantasy bust was just me playing fantasy this week, and thank God
the fantasy bust.
Yeah, thank God the Cowboys won, because that would have just been a total fucking disaster. If I had lost all 3, Cowboys lost, I lost $40 in bets as well.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Yeah, I bet with a friend from work that I bet on 2 games, $20 each, that I took the Saints over the Panthers, and I took the Seahawks over the Titans, and we both just picked. He took the underdogs in both games, and I was like, sounds good. Like, what are the odds I don't win one of these and break even? And he won both of them. So that was great. All right. Let's do just a couple of week 3 things. And it's late. I know I'm sure we're all tired. But what game are you guys looking forward to most next week? I know we just discussed the Bucks and Rams. Is that easily it?
Yeah, that's mine. I have it written down right here, sir. Bucks Rams.
Oh, did I send that to you guys? Or you wrote it down?
You sent it to us.
Okay, very nice. I thought I was springing this on you. Is that yours as well, Taylor?
I mean, it is, but for the sake of conversation, Chiefs are playing the Chargers, and so it's a very similar game.
Like, you guys aren't looking forward to Jets and Broncos?
Well, I am, but I also have Eagles at Cowboys. First, Cowboys are about to be the last team in the NFL to have a home game, and I think that that's just going to be exciting.
Is that true?
All those. It must be. I mean, I can't imagine people are starting off with 3 straight games on the road.
I see what you're saying.
That'd be the only possible way.
I really hope we get to see the Cowboys game.
I'm legitimate.
Monday Night Football.
It's national, even if you don't have cable. I am legitimately down to go to that game.
Yeah, me as well.
The tickets aren't bad, and we're not going to be in fucking prime seating. But I have no problem with that. What's up?
Do you remember 2019 when you and I went to go see the Astros play the Nationals in the World Series?
Okay, look, I told you I have no problem. The whole point here is that Taylor bought my ticket.
And it was like
I didn't get to sit down for 4 hours. So
I'm sorry.
How about
for the horrible
standing room only
experience.
ticket?
That's fine. I'll take the standing room only ticket.
I told Taylor I would have bought it for him. I'm going on vacation soon. I have a lot of shit coming up. We'll see. We'll see what I can squeeze in my budget.
Maybe Randy can buy it for me for his wedding.
I'll bring. Yeah, I
Look.
should be buying Randy's fucking ticket.
I
But
don't know what the fuck, dickhead.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
if I buy your ticket, then Taylor's make way, but you couldn't buy my ticket.
Look,
Right.
look, Taylor. You know what? If you want to go, bro, I'll buy your ticket, bro.
What if we split Taylor's ticket?
I definitely want to go. It's not like I'm like, nah, fuck that.
What if we split Taylor's ticket? That's
I
intriguing.
mean, we can talk. We can talk.
Okay.
Bro.
All right. Let's chop this up after the podcast. Okay. Last thing, I want to go through. I think I have like 8 games that I'm really curious of you guys' picks. Maybe 9 or 10. We'll see. But I just want to go through. These are just fun to look back on, and we do our picks league, but I just like to have them here on the record. Are you guys been doing this on the spot, or did y'all happen to pick your games already?
I'm ready, baby. Let's go.
Okay.
All right. I have not picked the games. It's not available to me on the app yet, so
Gotcha.
I was just gonna wait.
Okay. Let's just break it open. We're not going to be talking about Falcons and Giants.
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 Colts at Titans.
Titans.
Colts. I think it's time for them to win a game.
Yep. No, I see no way they go 0-3. I am taking the
With
Colts.
Jacob Eason.
I think Jacob Eason dies
that's
and
right.
Sam Ellinger plays.
Even worse, Colts.
Hey,
like
by the way, I'm so excited for this in-season Hard Knocks because I get to see some more Sam Ellinger, and I'm severely missing that in my life, having to watch these 2 quarterbacks fucking spiral out of control at UT.
Can you try not to seem like more of a Texans fan?
Yeah,
wearing
wearing
what
the
you're
full
wearing.
fucking garb. Yeah, I just miss Sam Ellinger, man. I didn't get to see Lil Jordan Humphrey play for the Saints yesterday. All right, I need some UT.
I mean, that's like our fucking top guy right now. Holy fuck.
Chargers at Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Chiefs, no argument. Bears at Cleveland. This one is barely worthy
Browns.
of our pick. Browns. You don't think you're not jumping on the Justin Fields comes in game 1 and fucking throws it all over the field?
I think it'll be closer than what people think, but Browns.
Okay.
Browns,
Taylor.
yeah. Browns.
I'm like Ravens at Lions. I'm just kidding.
Lions.
Curious if you
Ravens.
got Saints bounce back at New England.
No way.
Nope.
Mac Jones coming out party.
Say it,
Saints.
Randy.
I'm Saints.
Saints.
Yeah, fuck
All
Mac
right.
Jones.
You better keep that same energy in the picks app.
But yeah.
Oh, of course.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Washington at Buffalo. 2 of the most hyped defenses coming into the year.
Washington.
Washington wins in Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm
good on
hopping
that.
I'm
sticking with the
Heineken.
Washington's defense is overrated. I think the Bills tear them up.
Yeah, Bills aren't going to go 0-2 at home.
Yeah. This one's kind of no, I'm not even gonna fucking. It's not even worth it. Tua's not gonna be playing. Seahawks at Vikings.
Vikings.
Seahawks.
I'm sticking with it. I think yesterday they should have won that game. Wilson had a lot of opportunities to win that game and didn't. Marquee game: Tampa Bay at Los Angeles.
I'm gonna go
I'm
Rams.
taking Bucks. Rams.
Yeah, I gotta go Bucks here too.
Yeah, I really kind of planted my flag on the Tom Brady MVP season thing. I'm gonna stick with it until it proves me otherwise. This one's an underrated game. Green Bay at San Francisco.
San Francisco.
I'll go Green Bay.
I'm going Green Bay too.
Yeah.
Eagles at Dallas. Any arguments here? This one isn't
Yeah.
worthy of being picked on, but it's a Dallas game, so we're fucking talking about it.
Yeah, Eagles.
Are you're legitimately taking the Eagles?
If we go to the game, I'm getting a Jalen Hurts jersey.
Fucking
You
hell,
won't buy
man.
my ticket?
Are you? Yeah, that's $150. That literally pays for Taylor's trip.
Hey,
So you're taking the Eagles. I better see in the picks app.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
All
Devontae
right.
Smith's gonna have 8 catches,
All right.
200 yards, 3 touchdowns. Suck a wawa.
I
Pretend
will
like
take
you
the
weren't
Cowboys.
just wrong about Deontay Smith.
Okay, we
Yeah,
too,
I'm gonna go with the
motherfucker.
Cowboys.
We
All right.
too, motherfucker.
Cowboys, and we didn't give our scores for any of them, but I will say Cowboys 30-17. Boom, lock it in.
Are you fucking drunk?
Lock it in.
Last thing I want to talk about. A lot of QBs took a lot
Are you
of
gonna
crazy.
are you gonna give the Monday night game? Oh, you did. I'm
I did,
drunk.
you motherfucker.
I'm super drunk.
There was a lot of QB hits yesterday, and This opens up potential Taylor to talk about it real quick too, but I'm really for the first time starting to understand some of these roughing the passer rules. There was one hit in particular, and now for the life of me, I can't remember what it was. But I texted Taylor immediately after it and said, I'm starting to understand these QB hit things. Someone took a real bad blindside shot and got knocked out of the game for at least a few plays. Oh, it was Derek Carr. I'm pretty sure. Derek Carr took a really hard hit on his blind side after a touchdown. And I was like, man, how much would it suck to have Derek Carr come out for a few weeks or something, after this great start? This would be terrible for the league, terrible for the viewer, for Las Vegas, obviously. And so, as much as it sucks when your team's just trying to get a good sack and all of a sudden you're being knocked back 15 yards, it sucks, but it's what's best for the product. And I know, Taylor, you want to talk about like the inconsistency of the flag, right?
Yeah, that was all. I mean, I have no problem with the rule. Protect the quarterback. Do what you got to do to protect the game and to protect the money, essentially. But like, there needs to be some sort of consistency here. You see Derek Carr getting his ass kicked with no flag.
Yeah.
But then you see Joe Burrow running out of bounds and plopping his way into a 15-yard penalty.
Man, and the announcers really called him on it. I kind of liked it.
Oh yeah, and it was great acting, and I was all for it because I had picked Cincinnati, but it's just Baker Mayfield went down. It was a really bad one later on in the night. I forget which one it was where somebody just like body slammed somebody, but it wasn't called, and so I think that's when I sent out a message in the group. And so I think I'm just kind of confused as to what the rule is. And I was going to look it up, but I did not take the time to do that.
Yeah, it's really confusing because there are several different iterations of the rule, right? Like there's the crown of the helmet rule, and then there's the slamming rule. So you can't throw them down. You can't hit them with the crown of your helmet. It also matters where the ball is and when the hit occurs. There's all kinds of weird things. So, yeah, I mean, it's super inconsistent, and unfortunately, that's just how rules are. So it's probably always going to be like that. Hopefully, as time goes on, it gets better. But
NFL stands for no fun league.
I will say the whole like no celebrations thing is being a little overblown. People are freaking out about it.
That'll get old.
And so, yeah.
That's stupid. Let them celebrate. Fuck.
Well, they're letting them celebrate. It's just the taunting thing. And I get it. If I could choose, I want to see taunting. But, I mean, it's not the end of the world.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't really get why the NFL doesn't want to see taunting. I really don't. What does it do to the brand? I think that the days of appealing to the 60-year-old white man saying, play ball, why are you talking? I think those days are over. Like, are we moved on from appealing to that generation? I would say go ahead.
Cousin Sal from Jimmy Kimmel and The Ringer had a funny tweet. He said the only taunting calls that should be legal are the ones that have to do with the quarterbacks that taunt after an incomplete pass that they had nothing to do with.
Yeah, waving their hands like a fucking like an umpire at home plate. Like, I love those. Like Trevon Diggs did that a couple of times yesterday, and I was like, "Hey man, how about you fucking stop Keaton Allen on a comeback route?"
Yeah, motherfucker.
All right, guys. Week 3 was fun. Week 2 was fun. I'm still extremely excited. Who knows when I'll be footballed out, but I'm not really close yet.
Me neither. Me fucking
Week
neither.
9.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need a bye.
I think I'm gonna take a personal day, week 9. But it's been a lot of fun, and we will see you guys next week. Maybe we'll be talking about the Cowboys and Eagles game. We'll see. There you go.